Let's start Season 6. I'm trying to get Notts County from the National League to the Premier League while only signing players from other East Midlands clubs. There's no youth academy either, just to make things a little bit tougher. We've had 4 successful seasons now, and one that wasn't so good with Notts County. In Season 1, we were champions of the National League. In Season 2, we scraped a League 2 third place finish on the final day before winning the playoff final in Season 3. We made it to the playoff final last year in the Championship, and this season, we're going for automatic promotion. We're actually going to include 2 seasons in this episode. You'll see why in a minute. So Season 6 started just like the rest. We had a massive stack of cash ready to spend after selling Louie Heath for about £15 million, so we could afford to build one of the best squads in Championship history. 25,000 season tickets at our new stadium were also sold at £350 each, giving another £9 million to our budget. So let's have a look at some of our business. First, we signed our former loanee, Ryan Yates from Nottingham Forest. It's been about a decade since he was last at the Magpies, but he'll be massive for us in midfield. Alongside him, we'll have Leicester's Dennis Praet, a really cheap option to replace Louie Heath despite being 33 years old. It was finally time to move on from Jordan Smith as well, so we signed Salihovic from Forest, a really good young goalkeeper. We ended our transfer window by signing Nicola Pepe, who came in to play on the right wing. He's a massive signing, and as one of Arsenal's biggest flops, he'll go straight in as our best player of all time. We almost seemed unstoppable for the first few weeks of the season. In week 1, we absolutely crushed MK Dons. Then we went to Sheffield United a few days later, and we destroyed them too. Even in the Cups, we were dominating Premier League teams like West Brom. The games kept coming, and Notts County kept winning. Game after game, our players would improve, our tactics would improve, and our position in the table would also improve. For the next few months, it felt kind of like one big dream. Our form had no dips, we had no big injury crisis, and we didn't get any big bids in for our better players. Everyone in the squad was looking amazing. Parsons was clearly good enough for the Premier League now. He had a run of scoring goals in 8 consecutive games. But Nelson had now grown by 18 overall points since we signed him back in Season 2, and Yates and O'Hahan were proving to be an absolutely dominant midfield too. January came, but we didn't really need to do that much. On the first day of 2028, we were actually sitting in second place in the Championship. I think the very worst we were going to do this season was another playoff campaign, that I don't think there was any way we're going to collapse into 7th place and miss out from this position. We basically ignored the transfer window though. A few of our backup players were loaned out, but we didn't really need to strengthen our squad any further. Let's fast forward straight to May. With 3 games to go, we only needed a draw to confirm automatic promotion. Could we really do this? Well, just like the other 26 times this season, Notts County would get the win, and we'd finally done it. We were finally a top division side again. I felt that this was a really anticlimactic way to end this series, so I thought the least I could do is throw in the Premier League season with this video that I wasn't really planning on doing. Our goal in the Premier League though, of course, is just to avoid relegation, so don't expect to see any crazy title battles or European football. And just like last season, in a totally unscripted and almost unbelievable way, the Premier League would have Forest, Leicester, Notts County and Derby in it for the first time next season. With our budget immediately going up to £80 million, we could now afford to make Notts a truly elite club. Our limited talent pool did hit us quite hard. Forest and Leicester had a couple of players in our budget, but there was absolutely no chance that teams like Burton, Derby, Lincoln or Mansfield would have a single player that would be ready for our squad. We did sign quite a few players before the season started, but it did feel like most of our players deserved a chance in the top division. This is what our team looks like going into our final season. So while I look through the team, have a think about who your 3 favourite players of this series were. I'd love to read your comments about them. So, in goal, we have Salihovic. We only signed them last year, with Jordan Smith being our long-term backer. Harry Toffolo will still be our left back, while Ben Nelson has been made captain. Riley Harbottle might just about be good enough to enter his 4th season as a starter, while Kyle Walker-Peters will join from Leicester to put Regan Poole on the bench. Last year's signing, Ryan Yates, is still going to be partnered with Ethan O'Hahan, who's going to be playing in his 3rd season at Notts. In front of them, we still have Josh Bowler, who was a massive part of our rise from the bottom of the Championship to the top. We decided it was a really good idea to spend £30 million on Benedict Ziegler from Leicester. This young player has potential to be amazing, and hopefully we get to see some of it in the famous black and white stripes at Notts County. Nicolas Pepe will also be getting one last shot at the Premier League out on the right, and we're going to be rounding out the team with Aaron Parsons remaining as our starting striker. While Harbottle and Nelson have been with us for years now, our bench still has Kyle Cameron, Toby Adebayo-Rowling, Matt Palmer and Aaron Namane, who were at the club way back in Season 1. They're all heroes and massive parts of our journey, so as we prepare to say goodbye to the save, excitement is building in the stands. As I'm sure you'd expect from the ratings in our squad, we really did struggle to begin with. The majority of our team are either at their potentials now or on the decline. Just like we did way back in the National League, we decided to focus all of our attention on certain matches. Derby at home was the first one. We crushed them 3-0 last season, and this year, we beat them again. Forest and Leicester were also massive games, but we managed to win both, giving us 9 points from our first 12 games. A few points could be picked up here and there, with a draw against Watford, a win against Bournemouth, and a surprise point away in London at Spurs. We knew we were retiring at the end of the season, so we didn't even bother to sign anybody new in January. There was very little out there that would actually improve the team, so it felt like the players we already had deserved the chance to keep us in the Premier League. Leaving January, Notts were in a very respectable 15th place. Hilariously, it did look like Derby might be breaking their own record, sitting in last place with just 4 points. Skipping ahead to May now, just like last season, we only needed 1 more point from our last 3 games to survive. The first of the 3 games was against Leeds United. The other 2 were against Aston Villa and Manchester United, so we knew we had to try and get the points in this game, or we wouldn't have much chance of getting them in the other 2. Honestly, Leeds United were a pretty decent team this season as well, so we needed players like Parsons to do something special, which he absolutely did, after 16 minutes blasting his shot from the edge of the box past the Leeds United keeper. So we were 1-0 up. We just needed to keep things tight at the other end and make sure Leeds wouldn't score. Walker Peters is probably our most experienced defender, but it was his mistake that found Wilfred Gnonto, who smashed it straight past our goalkeeper to equalise. James would have the next chance, Nelson would intercept it. Bowler got beaten in the air, and then this finish from Wilfred Gnonto put Leeds ahead. By far probably the best goal we've conceded the entire time we've been playing this save. Harbottle would intercept the ball, find Pepe, and his long pass nearly found Parsons in the box, but we would get a corner out of it, and we're pretty good from these. Ziegler is probably the smallest man on our team, but he would jump highest. He would level the game, and it was 2-2 in a super important match for Notts County. If we could get another goal, we would be in an amazing position, and we got one. So we only need 1 point, and currently we're on track to get all 3. Parsons is basically carrying us in this game. He could possibly even get his hat-trick, we still do have about 20 minutes to go. Walker Peters nearly found him in the box, but Lundberg would intercept it. That was for sure going to be a good chance there for Parsons. But Leeds weren't done yet. Gabby would smash the ball past our goalkeeper. Suddenly, we had 15 minutes of holding on. Leeds United needed the points because they're down there in the relegation zone as well. It was time to do something we saved for special occasions, going ultra defensive. We like attacking, we're good at attacking, but it was actually 71 rated Harbottle that would beat Gnonto to the ball. It would slowly roll back to Salhovic, and that's it. He would waste the rest of the match, and Notts County would be staying in the Premier League. Our only goal was to play a single season in it, but it looks like Notts County are set for at least 1 more. Unfortunately though, we won't be actually in charge for it. So this is the last match you'll probably see in this series. So now Notts County are officially safe. From here, they really have the potential to grow and become a truly great side. But we've achieved all the goals we set out with at the start of this series. Finally, Notts County have had a season in the First Division after waiting since 1991. Thank you to everyone who watched me play this save. I've really enjoyed sharing this story with you, and I really appreciate a like, a comment, or a subscription. But while I start to make a new season, why not check out this other series I've made for FIFA 23, where I try and win a cup on every single continent. Thank you for all your support throughout this series. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.